In the annals of history, few names resonate with the force of Alexander the Great. A military genius, a visionary leader, and a figure of mythic proportions, he forged one of the largest empires the world had ever seen, stretching from the sun-drenched shores of Greece to the mysterious lands of India. All of this accomplished before he reached the age of 33. His conquests weren't just about land, they were about culture. He shattered the old world order and ushered in the Hellenistic Age, a revolutionary era where Greek ideas, art, and language spread across continents, forever altering the trajectory of Western and Eastern civilizations. But behind the legend of the unstoppable conqueror was a complex and fascinating man. Let's begin our countdown by exploring the unique physical traits and formative moments that hinted at his extraordinary destiny. We begin with fact number 10. A detail that made him instantly recognizable and contributed to his mystique: his striking eyes. Ancient historians, including the Greek biographer Plutarch, described Alexander as having heterochromia iridum, a rare condition resulting in two different colored eyes. One was said to be a piercing blue, the color of the sky, while the other was a dark brown or black, the color of the night. In an age steeped in superstition and omens, this feature would have been seen as far more than a mere genetic anomaly. To his followers, it was a sign of his divine connection, a mark that set him apart from ordinary mortals. It reinforced the belief, which Alexander himself cultivated, that he was the son of Zeus. This physical distinction created a captivating and unforgettable presence, one that commanded attention both on the battlefield and in the royal court. Moving to our 9th fact, we uncover a pivotal moment from Alexander's youth that foretold his future greatness: the taming of Bucephalus. The story goes that a horse trader presented a magnificent but ferocious black stallion to Alexander's father, King Philip II. The horse, whose name meant ox head, was so wild that none of Philip's seasoned generals could mount him. As Philip was about to dismiss the untamable beast, a young Alexander spoke up, claiming he could succeed where others had failed. He had noticed something no one else had. The horse was terrified of its own dancing shadow. With quiet confidence, Alexander approached Bucephalus, gently turning him to face the sun so his shadow fell behind him. Speaking soothingly, he stroked the horse, calming its fears before riding him to the astonishment of the entire court. Seeing this incredible display of intelligence and courage, his father wept with pride, famously declaring, "O my son, look thee out a kingdom equal to and worthy of thyself, for Macedonia is too little for thee." This single event wasn't just about taming a horse, it was the first true display of the insight and boundless ambition that would define his reign. At just 12 years old, Alexander tamed Bucephalus, the mighty horse who would carry him into countless battles. Tutored by Aristotle for 3 years, Alexander gained a love for learning and carried an annotated copy of Homer's Iliad into battle. Alexander's ambition wasn't limited to the battlefield. He was a master builder of empire. He founded or renamed over 70 cities, stamping his legacy across continents. Most were called Alexandria. These weren't just monuments to his ego. They were strategic anchors of Hellenic culture and military control, meticulously placed along vital trade routes. Through them, Greek language, architecture, and administration spread, creating a new, blended civilization. The most famous, Alexandria in Egypt, was destined to become the intellectual capital of the ancient world, home to the Great Library and the legendary Pharos Lighthouse. Alexander wasn't just conquering the world, he was remaking it in his own image, seeding a new Hellenistic era that would outlive him by centuries. In Phrygia, Alexander encountered a challenge of legend: the Gordian knot. An ancient ox cart was bound by an impossibly intricate knot, with a prophecy declaring that whoever could untie it would rule all of Asia. For hours, Alexander struggled with the complex tangle, finding no beginning and no end. Frustrated but undeterred, he showcased the audacious thinking that defined him. He realized the prophecy didn't specify the knot had to be undone, declaring, "It makes no difference how they are loosed." He drew his sword and with a single decisive blow, sliced it in half. This act of brilliant lateral thinking became a powerful piece of propaganda, a symbol of his ability to solve an unsolvable problem with bold, direct action, proving he was a man destined to carve his own path to greatness. This destiny would be fulfilled in his confrontation with the mighty Persian Empire, the largest the world had ever seen. Against the overwhelming odds and vast armies of King Darius III, Alexander waged a series of brilliant, ruthless campaigns. At the Battle of Issus, he used the terrain to his advantage, routing Darius's forces and forcing the king himself to flee. The final showdown came at Gaugamela. Facing a colossal army, Alexander's tactical genius was on full display. He executed a complex maneuver, creating a gap in the Persian line for a decisive cavalry charge aimed directly at Darius. The Persian king fled once more, his army collapsed, and the Achaemenid Empire was shattered. In just a few short years, Alexander had conquered the unconquerable, ending a dynasty and inaugurating a new age. In 327 BC, Alexander married Roxana, a Bactrian noble's daughter, blending Greek and Persian cultures in a powerful political union. When his father, King Philip II, was assassinated, suspicion swirled. Some even believed Alexander and his mother had a hand in it. Perhaps the most staggering fact about Alexander is his perfect military record. From his first command at the age of 18 to his final brutal campaign in India 15 years later, he never lost a single battle. This wasn't a matter of luck. It was a testament to his revolutionary genius. He was a master of combined arms, seamlessly integrating his formidable infantry phalanxes with the lightning speed of his companion cavalry. His signature hammer and anvil tactic, where his infantry would pin the enemy line while his cavalry smashed into their flank or rear, proved devastatingly effective against the numerically superior Persian forces at battles like Issus and Gaugamela. His audacity was legendary, always leading from the front, and his speed was unparalleled, often catching his enemies completely off guard. Even when faced with the unknown, like the terrifying war elephants of King Porus in India, Alexander adapted his strategy on the fly, securing a hard-won victory that cemented his reputation as invincible. His 15-year winning streak against overwhelming odds is a feat unmatched in the annals of history. Yet, for a man who defied death on the battlefield, his end came not from a sword, but from a mysterious illness in the heart of his new empire, Babylon. At just 32 years old, after a prolonged banquet, Alexander was struck by a raging fever. For 2 weeks, the world watched as the conqueror was conquered by an invisible foe. He lost the ability to speak, then to move, succumbing to an agonizing decline. The cause remains one of history's greatest cold cases. Was it poison? Some ancient sources point fingers at resentful generals, though concrete proof is non-existent. Or was it disease? Malaria or typhoid fever, rampant in the marshy lands of Babylon, are strong contenders, especially as his body was weakened by years of campaigning and multiple severe wounds. The truth of his demise is lost to time, a final, unsolvable riddle that triggered the collapse of his empire into decades of civil war among his successors. Alexander's death, however, did not end his story. It immortalized it. His legacy is not just one of conquest, but of creation. His ambition kick-started an entirely new era, the Hellenistic Age, an unprecedented fusion of Greek culture with the traditions of Persia, Egypt, and India. He founded over 20 cities, with Alexandria in Egypt becoming the intellectual capital of the ancient world, home to its legendary library. He actively promoted cultural syncretism, encouraging his men to marry local women and adopting foreign customs himself, envisioning a blended world. The vast Persian treasuries he circulated fueled an economic boom, connecting markets from the Mediterranean to the Indus Valley. His life became the ultimate blueprint for ambition, inspiring leaders from Julius Caesar to Napoleon. Alexander didn't just change the map, he reshaped the course of human history. Which of these incredible facts surprised you the most? Like and share this video with your friends and subscribe our channel History Reels.